So I've been working remotely for the past couple years from time to time, which lets me go skiing. But I'm pretty proud of the system that I put together and feel like it works really well. So I figured I'd put together a little video showing the sort of essential components that I've put together to make my working experience much better. This one's now in a Cirrus 620, so your mileage may vary. I did also work from a Palomino Rogue EB1, which worked really well, but I think I'm overall happier with the Cirrus as a platform to work from, which I'll go into in this video. First off, I like the space. There's lots of light. And then also, to help keep my laptop cool, I don't put it directly on the bed. I put it on a board. I usually run it in clamshell mode so it doesn't dissipate heat as well. Rotating over, you can see here my nice big display with a webcam on top. That's mounted on a pivot for a VESA mount. That way I can move the display to whatever height or location I would like it. I think it's crucial to have a plug-in keyboard or Bluetooth keyboard, take your pick. It really lets you work much more efficiently. I mean, even when you're desk jockeying like I do with spreadsheets, chats, you name it, having a keyboard and mouse is very important. You know, not hunting and pecking on the trackpad, at least for me personally. So that's one of the top things, a big display and a keyboard and mouse that works well. Moving on over, you can see my sort of plugins. Now this is cool because it comes stock with the Cirrus. For my Rogue, I had two 12-volt cigarette outlets just like this and some USB outlets. It's more handily located in the Cirrus. But I think this is a key for working remotely with a laptop. Instead of just using the regular charger that your laptop came in, spring for a DC charger because your laptop is taking direct current. It's not taking alternate current. So basically you're converting, if you use your computer charger using DC, that then gets converted to AC, that then you're converting back to DC. With the DC charger, it's just straight DC from the batteries, DC to your computer. So you're not using as much energy, and honestly, then you don't have, if you have a cheaper inverter, sometimes you'll get weird frequency issues, your hertz issues where it makes a strange noise. So highly recommend if you're on the road, use a DC to DC. Moving on, you can see the temperature display that I'm inordinately proud of, and then moving on to my Bose SoundLink that I use for sound and calls when I'm speaking out loud. And here we go. That's actually a part I'm pretty proud of, was the mounting of this swivel mount, because it is adding a decent amount of force to the wall. What I actually did is added a reinforcement 2x4 on the back. So you drill through the wall and it's clamping to this 2x4 in the back. And it's actually the same method that they used for the Langoon table. If you look below, it's very similar. So just if you do install a monitor mount, definitely make sure it can take a decent amount of force, because especially with this one with, you know, a longer arm, there's a lot of leverage there. So it's going to put some force on your cabinetry. But here's the actual arm itself. Really happy with it. I got as long of an arm as I could find, so it could curl back around towards me. It's really easy to adjust it up and down. That's adjustable in terms of the force that it takes and how much it will hold. The monitor's on the light end, probably, I don't know, 5 pounds, so it can hold a lot more. Going down here to show you my inverter setup, not just my stinky boots drying and the trash. Okay, eventually I'll get there. So the Cirrus has a little battery bay and then an extension off the end, which I use to mount both this solar converter right here and then also a 600 watt pure sine inverter to power my monitor. I don't have much power requirement for it. The cool thing about that hard mount sine inverter is that it includes a wire that I can connect. It's literally a phone cable that I can connect to a remote switch, which is exactly what I did right here. Again, this the batteries and the inverter sit under my seat, so it was not hard to route the wire back and then up to this little switch, which is incredibly handy. So I just basically am able to turn it on and off. I'm not fumbling around in back there. The glowing LED you see below that is actually for my Wi-Fi booster. I configured that similarly, so I can just turn it on and turn it off. I'm not unplugging or plugging anything in. I do like this method of controlling stuff. It's right next to me. It's easy. It's seamless. And then panning out to sort of my wider work setup and then back up to the laptop. I could use this as a second monitor. I have, but honestly, I just run it in clamshell mode most of the time. And last but not least, here are a couple thoughts about how it has been to work out of the Cirrus 620. I'd say actually weirdly the biggest improvement I've had is the heating system. With my old Rogue, it was a forced hot air. It was pretty loud when it was cold because I'm into skiing. It was cold a lot. And people could hear it on calls, so I had to be, careful about muting, unmuting, and using a good headset. With the Cirrus, it's super quiet, and it keeps an constant temperature, so I'm able to sit comfortably, and the thermostat will keep it at a constant temperature. The second thing I actually like is the layout. This layout is pretty common in truck campers in terms of there's sort of two opposing seats. It's kind of fun to have a window behind me. I can show my coworkers where I'm at. They're usually not surprised. I'm somewhere where there's snow. But that actually has worked out quite well. The other thing that's great is the Langoon table is height adjustable, which means you can adjust your keyboard and mouse to be at just the right height, which is great. And then I also do like actually the way the Cirrus is constructed. There are pretty easy to find sort of channels that you can route behind boards the way it's constructed. The Palomino definitely had that, but I find the Cirrus is a bit easier to work with in terms of getting wires out of the way and behind a panel instead of just out in the open around my feet. So overall, the Cirrus is definitely a great camper for my mission, which is really to camp in ski area parking lots that have Wi-Fi, so then I can go ski before and after work. So hugely satisfied. Hope you found this useful, found a couple of tips and tricks or things that you don't want to do, which is equally as important. So happy camping and have a good one.